Can you take any kind of experience from Strad with this? Or is
From
that
what?
Strad Bianche?
Strada.
Strada. Sorry. Behind me is Tom Pidcock's bike. He arrived pretty late to the start, but I think he arrived pretty late last night as well. Pidcock is on his Pinarello Dogma Gravel FGR, and his tech setup is actually really, really roady. Just a couple of little interesting tidbits from his setup, for me anyway. Well, these are probably the narrowest tyres that I've seen being raced here at the Worlds. These are 35mm, and to be honest, it makes me think that this could have been raced on a road bike. He has gone for a 1x setup, and he has gone for a 50-tooth chainring up front, so if there was any doubt, the boy's got some watts. Now I am with the Cube New Road. These are all new for 2026, new paint schemes, new prices as well, and that is why I've come to see them. But also, Cube have helped us to make this video, to be here today, so a massive thank you to them. This bike is very interesting because it will take a 50mm tyre. It's also one that you can build up for bike packing. It's got fork mounts, it's got the mudguard mounts in the rear as well, so all winter ready. But the thing that I love about this one, as you see it, SRAM Force E-Tap, a massive old cassette on the back. This is running at 3,999 euros, or same in pounds. But they've got some fantastic bikes down the range as well. The new GRX, that comes in at under 3 grand. And quite frankly, Cube's killing it on the value this year. So, do you think that I should have one of these in my shed? I think I do really like the colour, so I think I've got to give one a go. Just behind me, we've got the Visma Lisa bikes. In the front, we've got a super knobbly kind of tyre, but out the back, there is a Vittoria Corsa Control Pro. So a real high-end road tyre, but it's in a 42mm size. Completely slick. It's absolutely lovely with the tan walls. It's a real visual mismatch because of the black sidewalls up front, but also up front, 45mm tyres. Femke, you've got like a kind of mullet tyre setup here. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, it's quite a fast course. So there are some gravel corners you want to have some grip, but also want to be fast. So we had to make the perfect setup. So we have some grip in the front and then more slick in the back. So
business up front, party in the back.
Definitely party in the back.
The definition of a mullet. Yeah. I'm down with Dan Suter's bike, and he's got a lot of plugs on this bike. He's got them in the same kind of like similar location that you would expect them, up on top of the stem, nice and easy reach. But he's got some hidden away in his bottom bracket. Sorry, Dan, I'm just taking out your plug. Here it is. And it just pops back in there. And then we spotted something very jazzy over at the Bahrain Victorious team. Check out this new, or what we think is a new, Merida gravel race bike. This thing has none of the frame shapes that the current Silex has. In fact, it looked to me at first glance to be a new kind of Sculptura gravel. But taking a look at the top tube, this thing is branded with Merida's Mission line. Now, for those of you that don't remember the old Mission line from back in the cyclocross days, this thing was a cyclocross bike, but it never had space for the chunky tyres that we're seeing here. Now, I couldn't tell from first glance what tyre size Mohoric and his teammate were running, but they look like 45mm tyres to me, and to be honest, the clearance looks relatively tight, so I would suggest that the bike is set up for 45, maybe 48mm tyres. At the front end, you've got an integrated cockpit, which both riders were running fully slammed. And that's not to say that this looked like an extreme position. It did look like the head tube is relatively short, so I would suggest that this is going to be a new Merida gravel race bike. There were also a few hidden little tech details on the frame. For instance, there looks to be some down tube storage underneath the front bottle cage. And take a look behind the Mission logo and you'll see holes for a bag mount. Merida is generally quite good at pricing, so I would expect to see this thing coming in at a decent price. This Dura Ace build, or whatever Merida brings out as the top end build, will probably still have a racing price tag attached to it. But what I absolutely love is that Merida were finally able to break out all of their crayons and design something that was actually quite eye-catching. I like the look of this thing, but what do you reckon? Let me know down in the comments below. Tiffany Cromwell's bike is possibly the most Australian thing I've ever seen. It's truth. So behind me is Rosa Kloser's bike. She is a superstar in the gravel world, and she's got a really, really interesting setup with some mystery new gravel tyre from Continental. Looks super slick and very speedy. Up front though, she's gone for kind of more of an aggressive setup than I've seen anyone go for right now. Rosa, quite an aggressive setup with your front tyre. You were telling us yesterday all about cornering grip today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I said yesterday, the course from a first view looks quite easy, not so technical. But there are a few quite loose corners, and I think that's really where I can use my skills to my advantage and put some pressure on the pure roadies, and that's my plan. I already saw Marianne on a pretty slick back tire, so for sure gonna push the corner a bit harder even.
This patented technology, bottle stopper, so you can get your bottle,
wow.
and then you can't lose it.
I'm down with the Italian national team bikes, and they've got a real mix of riders here. But one thing I want to point you out is this Italian rider. That's a very long stem, is what all I'll say. That is huge. I'm just going to try and see. It's a 140. It's longer than my road bike. Marina, I was on the hunt, right? I was on the hunt for suspension.
What, a suspension fork?
Yeah, you've spoiled my day a little bit, but
I'm so
that
sorry.
course is not one for suspension, I don't think.
No, I don't think there were many places where that would have benefited me. So I went for my rigid fork, but actually I do prefer riding my suspension fork bike.
What did you do to kind of optimise, apart from changing the fork, obviously, to optimise your bike for today?
So I actually put some narrow tyres on, Pinarello Gravel King X1s in a 40. Pretty fast, low rolling resistance, but everyone seemed to have like super narrow tyres.
So this is the first example of maybe a road bike, more of a road bike, an endurance bike that I've seen being raced. The likes of Pidcock, I've seen Connor Swift, both on 35mm tyres. Did it just feel like too tame of a course for a gravel bike?
I like the road bike more because of the speed of the track. The gravel bike is more or less like 1 kilo heavier than this bike. This bike feels also really more aggressive, so that's why I like to race with this bike on the faster courses.
And I can see that you fitted relatively wide tyres, but what is your setup?
KDX 50mm rims and Schwalbe RS 40mm tires.
Behind me there is a bike that is drawing quite a bit of attention. So this is a new Dare gravel bike, and the team have said to me that they only actually got these bikes 2 weeks ago. There's a new front end on this that's been developed for the bike. That's going to be rolled out as an option for a few others. It's got a really wide flare, which makes it gravel, but it's also fully integrated and it looks super clean. 50mm tyre clearance. This rider seems to be running about 45, so not pushing things too aggressively, but also there is not as much tread on the front tyre as we saw with some of the women's setup. The drivetrain also features a few neat touches. So we've got a 50-tooth single chainring. It doesn't really fit apparently, so the rider had to space out the chainring by a couple of millimeters just to get it to have the clearance. The bike does still look ready for some longer adventures. I can see some mounts on the fork, but really this is a very clean setup and a very new, nice and interesting bike from Dare. And so that was the hottest tech of the Gravel World Championships. And some really excellent bikes on display. As ever, thank you to every rider that spoke to us. You do make my life a lot easier. Very, very approachable. I thought that my lasting impression of the tech was that actually the more road-focused setups, so narrower tyres, more aggressive positions, tended to fare better, but I think that's really down to the course. So in the coming years, I think if we can see some more rugged terrain, some more selective courses, I think that will change the bikes entirely. And that is the reason that I absolutely love this event and why I think that you should come back and watch these videos every year. Anyway, if you like this video, remember to like it, remember to subscribe, and after you've liked it, you can hype the video, which is a new thing from YouTube. Please do that. If you want to watch more, there's another video just up here. Oh, go and read all of the stuff that I've written on the site over at road.cc. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go get a coffee and learn how to pronounce Strada Bianca. No? Strada Bianca. Strada Bianca. Sorry, Tom. Sorry.
Or it's actually
Strada Bianca.
Strada.
Strada. Sorry.